Good evening, it's September 16th, 2013, and today I'd like to discuss Apple, Netflix, Visa, Boeing, and Amgen. So I'm just going to share with you some thoughts and processes about the market and how it's doing. Currently looking at the weekly, we're looking at the weekly S&P 500. I mentioned right here that I noticed and thought that this would go lower, but right now we bounced off of this level. And we're kind of trending a little bit higher, and we'll see if we can break this higher resistance level right here, or higher high, and see if we can get through that. So right now the market's working off of that bounce. If we look at the daily, you'll see basically what happened. So over here on the daily, market started trending over. I thought it would roll over more, and it did roll over up to here in this point. And this was a mile marker point right here, and it went a little bit higher from here. So that's a point to watch in the future. Now, right now, we'll see if it makes it higher beyond this, or if it's going to resist and push down lower here. So we'll see. But in the meantime, looking at some individual stocks, I talked about Apple when it broke this gap area right here. And we can take a look at the drawing tools, this gap right here in this region. I told you it would go probably lower, and it did. It took a couple days for it to consolidate, and then it continued to go lower. And then right here, again, based on the volume, you can see that here, again, the volume picked up and it went lower, and it broke this 450-ish level today as well, and chances are it's going to continue to head lower. It may test and check this gap over here, so that's a possibility, and so it could go down to this level. So we'll see. Nobody really knows, but right here that could be at the 420-ish level. Okay, so that could be something to watch for Apple shares, and something to keep an eye out for. Now, looking at Netflix, talked about this one when it broke the 300 level, and Netflix does tend to retest its support. You'll notice up here it bounced, it retested support. It went through, it retested support. So it's going to retest this again. If it holds, it may continue higher again in this stair-step pattern as we have been doing. If it doesn't, it could break much lower, so something to watch and keep an eye on. Right now we're pulling back on lighter volume, so it looks okay because we went up on higher volume, but we'll see. You got to watch the market and see what happens. Visa continued higher after breaking this descending trend line. So these are some of the old things I was watching in the past. But basically it had this triangle pattern here, and when it broke out on a little bit more than higher volume than average right here. Nothing exciting, but it did break out with a nice gap, and it continued higher to pull through. And I talked about this one a couple days ago, and it's still moving higher, moving well. Boeing, mentioned this one a few times. I'm not in it, I'm not trading it or anything like that. Had a couple people tweet about this one, but it was holding this resistance level, and then when it broke through it, and today it gapped up, and it gapped up on pretty good volume actually over here. If you look at the volume right here, you'll see it was actually quite nice and a little bit higher. So we're at 7.7 million shares on that volume, and this one I'm expecting it to go a little bit more higher. Whether it hits the price targets, what analysts analyze and say, who the heck knows. It may retest this gap level because typically gaps do get tested, but so if you want to re-enter this or enter this position and you're looking for a pullback, this gap could be something to watch for, but it could take some time, just like Apple over here is taking its time on this gap. It's basically a full month. The same thing with Boeing. You may have to wait quite some time to get this pullback. So, play diligently, and just be careful and stick to your rules and stick to your stops. And finally, looking at Amgen, this one over here moved pretty well again today. Nothing on exciting volume, but it is breaking out of this resistance line and moving higher. So those are a few of the things I was watching. There's some other stocks out there, but I'm watching mostly the big guys and the big companies and the big boys at the moment. I've been doing a lot of the trading on the Apple short side and the different spreads and so forth. Anyway,